Welcome back to Debunked. Today's video was released just 3 days before this video's script was written. That means it's the newest video I have ever debunked. And let me be the first to say the GP have not lost their touch when it comes to making inaccurate roller coaster related videos. As always, submit any GP videos you find, a link in the video description, and join our Discord for updates and so much more. Let's get started.
Few theme park rides test your bravery and mettle like a roller coaster. Statistically, you're perfectly safe. You have maybe a 1 in 24 million chance of getting hurt on a coaster, and 1 in 750 million chance of dying on one. But you don't think about stats when zipping up and down the tracks, careening upside down, and enduring loop-de-loops that make you pray your seatbelt works perfectly.
I don't know about you, but on a ride, I don't think about stats or the safety of the ride. I just think about enjoying the ride.
Obviously, not all roller coasters are the same. Some are tamer and more predictable, designed for beginners, or those who aren't so much adrenaline junkies as adrenaline hobbyists. Others, meanwhile, are completely over the top and unpredictable, meant to instill thrill and fear into even the most hardcore of coaster addicts. Check out the 10 craziest roller coasters in the world and make plans to ride them all, if you think you're ready. Simply seeing the tangled web that is the Takabisha roller coaster is enough to give anyone chills. Since its opening in 2011, Takabisha has terrified passengers with its complete and utter unpredictability.
What is all this about unpredictability? The track will always stay the same. If you watch the POV a few times before riding, you'll already know what to expect for the most part.
Even if you technically know what's going to happen, you're not prepared for it. The ride starts with a rapid-fire drop into total darkness.
Rapid-fire drop into total darkness.
This is just a small drop to get you to the launch track, and it's clearly not in total darkness.
Seconds later, you're launched at over 60 miles per hour into the light in a series of pants-wetting coaster loops.
Coaster loops? What the heck is that? Takabisha doesn't even have any vertical loops. Kinda reminds me of some merch I sell.
A banana roll, corkscrews, and several 180-degree turns follow in rapid succession. You're then sent back to the station, only to quickly zoom 180 degrees toward a 141-foot-tall chain lift hill. Once at the top, you experience Takabisha's trademark, an absolutely terrifying 121-degree drop, a world record for roller coaster steepness that nobody has yet broken.
Not for long.
From there, you're treated to 3 more loops before...
Why are you showing Daredevil Dive?
Before finally returning to the station. Amazingly, Takabisha has not yet caused a single injury.
Your video was actually going quite good until you said that. Of course, it's not caused any injuries. It was designed to be perfectly safe. And it is. No park would ever invest millions of dollars into a ride that's not designed to be safe.
Here's hoping it stays that way. Even still, the sheer rush of darkness followed by 7 different loops and the steepest drop of them all will likely make you want to spend a couple of hours on the merry-go-round afterward, simply to calm your nerves. For the most part, the Gravity Max roller coaster is pretty straightforward. After a drop, there's some darkness, 1 loop, and some rolling track before you're sent back to the station. But what happens before the drop is one of the scariest, craziest features of any coaster on the planet. The track seemingly breaks, and if you don't know what's coming, you just might faint.
First, it just tilts. Second, how would you not know it was going to do that? I mean, how do you not see the thing before you get in line?
After rising 114 feet, your car suddenly stops, and you realize there's no more track. You're seemingly stuck up there, at least until the track begins to slowly angle downward. It feels like the coaster is malfunctioned and you're about to pay for it with your life.
How could a coaster ever malfunction this way?
But then the track connects to the rest of the coaster and sends you careening down at a 90-degree angle. For those who don't know their geometry, a 90-degree drop sends you straight down, which is so terrifying no other coaster in the world has yet dared to put its riders through it.
Are you kidding? You just covered a ride with a 122-degree drop. For people who don't know their geometry, like the video creator, that's more than 90 degrees. This thing isn't even the only tilt coaster anymore, ever since Golden Horse started cloning the things.
Gravity Max broke the mold, daring its riders to embrace a sense of danger like they've never had before. The Fury 325 roller coaster.
You're showing hang time, not Fury. How did you mix that up?
Is one of the world's most aptly named coasters, as well as one of the freakiest. And it doesn't just thrill your body, but your mind too. The coaster's overall aesthetic is inspired by the hornet, one of the most rage-filled insects on Earth. The 325 comes from the coaster, sending its riders to a peak height of 325 feet, making it one of the tallest coasters in the world. But the designers don't just toy with your head with the foreboding name. No, they play with your psychology from the second you enter the park. Part of Fury 325 zooms past and around.
Yeah, it looks like a cool ride, and it is a good ride. It's my number 3. But why are you showing Ricochet? Also, it's Fury 325, not Fury 325.
Around Carowind's front gate, putting the coaster in your head the second you walk in and building your anticipation long before you even get in line. Once on the coaster, Fury 325 does not disappoint. In addition to its foreboding height, it drops you at an 81-degree angle.
And that's Leviathan.
Reaching speeds of roughly 95 miles per hour. While there are no loops, there are plenty of rolls and corkscrews along the way.
No. Just no. Do some basic research. Fury is a giga coaster. It focuses on height, speed, and airtime. No giga coaster has any inversions of any kind.
And the speed doesn't let up for a second. Adding to the danger is a beam meant to barely clear your head.
No, that's just a normal near-miss element. It was designed so you can never actually touch it. Trust me, I tried.
While you're in no actual danger provided you're not 8 feet tall, the positioning of the beam combined with the speed makes it so your brain can only process terror when they see that bit of steel seemingly coming straight toward you. And don't forget, at some point Fury 325 will send you past the front gate, in full view of everybody entering the park. That way you're playing your part in building anticipation for the next set of Fury riders, who will do the same as they're sent hurtling past yet more eager park goers. It's the circle of life, or more accurately, the circle of screaming for your life. The Montu ride at Tampa Bay's Busch Gardens is a prime example of what makes a roller coaster truly terrifying. The sense that you, the rider, are not in control.
All coasters remove your sense of control. That's part of what makes them fun. But yes, Montu is actually a good choice, and quite a rare coaster to see on a list like this. Good job.
You're strapped tight in a car barreling at over 60 miles per hour, twisting and turning and dropping the entire time. Few coasters take that sense of control away from you better than Montu. From the start, the ride seems extra scary because the track lies above your car rather than below it. This lets your feet dangle as you zip through the ride, greatly adding
From now on, every time he shows the wrong coaster, I will just overlay his channel logo like this.
to the seeming danger before the ride even begins. From there, after your initial drop, you're treated to a loop into a darkened tunnel, a corkscrew, an inverted corkscrew.
I don't know what the heck an inverted corkscrew is. Here's a list of the actual ride elements on Montu.
And multiple turns taken at purposefully sharp and freaky angles. Montu's entire goal is to make it so you can't see what's next, because what's next is meant entirely to scare you out of your skin. On 5 different occasions, Montu sharply turns and you immediately find yourself in the trenches. The coaster drops down to the point where your feet are dangling just above the ground. Any closer and you may risk losing your feet forever. This obviously will not happen, and you'll quickly find yourself back up in the air, safely screaming to the heavens. But if for even a split second you thought you were about to crash to your doom, then Montu did its job. Abu Dhabi doesn't do many things small, and their roller coasters are no exception. Case in point, the Formula Rossa ride at Ferrari World, which isn't just the world's fastest roller coaster, it's the fastest by a landslide.
I mean, it's only 21 miles per hour faster than the second fastest coaster. That's hardly a landslide.
With the overall theme of a Ferrari racetrack, complete with the coaster train done up like a Ferrari race car, it makes sense that Formula Rossa would be the fastest of all of its peers. It reaches top speeds of nearly 150 miles per hour, while its closest competitor, Kingda Ka in New Jersey, can only manage a comparatively sluggish 128 miles per hour.
Again, Formula Rossa goes 149 miles per hour. That's only 21 miles per hour faster than Kingda Ka. Hardly sluggish.
What's more, thanks to its super powerful hydraulic launch system, Rossa can hit its top speed in under 5 seconds. It's so fast and the speed happens so quickly, riders actually have to wear goggles for protection. The ride itself isn't a slouch either. There's no slow rise up a track. Much like a Formula 1 race, you're immediately zooming straight ahead to top speed. The speed doesn't let up as you're sent careening along the track, the rails constantly twisting and turning as you fight to keep your skin from being blown off your face.
The ride's really not all that impressive. Unlike Kingda Ka, this ride loses its speed very quickly and its launch acceleration is quite slow when compared to other rides.
The lack of loops and corkscrews hardly matter. Formula Rossa's sheer speed provides enough thrill to keep its racers thrilled and happy during each crazy ride. Formula Rossa might have claimed the fastest coaster title from Kingda Ka, but that doesn't make this Six Flags mega attraction any less crazy or menacing. If the most thrilling part of a roller coaster is the height you scale before dropping down at Mach speed, then Kingda Ka might just be calling your name. Since 2005, Kingda Ka has held the crown of world's tallest roller coaster. It reaches a seemingly impossible height of 456 feet before dropping you 418 feet at a nearly 90-degree angle. Remember, this ride can reach speeds of up to 128 miles per hour and can do so in roughly 3.5 seconds. It may not be the fastest coaster ever, but its speed plus the insane height should be quite enough to make you glad you hit the bathroom before taking this ride. Perhaps because of the extremes this coaster puts its riders through, it's not a long ride at all. From launch to stop, you're on the coaster for only 28 seconds. But in those 28 seconds, you're subjected to that rapid-fire launch, the record-setting rise, a 270-degree spiral, and then another 129-foot rise that actually makes you weightless for a second.
Yeah, it's called airtime. It's the best part of a coaster. Far better than any inversions.
Immediately thereafter, the brakes hit and the ride is over. Brief run or not, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone walking away from Kingda Ka disappointed. Some roller coasters are tall, others are fast. The Smiler, a United Kingdom coaster, earned its insane reputation another way. It features more rolls and loops than any other coaster in the world. Built in 2013, the Smiler immediately garnered attention for its
Yeah, but why are you showing some very inaccurate Planet Coaster recreation? What is this, Kentucky Kingdom's YouTube channel?
its 14 inversions, a record that no coaster has topped since. The first inversion happens before you begin your ascent, meaning the second your car moves, you're already upside down. After a series of inversions, the train stops, and you're sent up yet another set of brake tracks.
Brake tracks? I think you mean a lift hill.
For a second ascent. After a 90-degree drop, you'll begin the second half of the ride, which features even crazier loops than the last.
Not every inversion is a loop. Also, inversions generally are not the most fun part of a ride. Airtime is.
Near the very end, you're barrel rolling 360 degrees several times over, leaving no time to do anything but scream before the ride finally comes to a complete stop. The Smiler also features several gimmicks it calls mind manipulations. It makes it appear that the ride is spraying you with laughing gas and other assorted chemicals designed to put a smile on your face, hence the ride's name. That may not be necessary, as your stomach's incessant tickling from going upside down and all around so many times in just a couple of minutes will make you smile no matter what gases Alton Towers pretends to throw your way. Full Throttle reaches a height of 160 feet. While that may not sound impressive when compared to other coasters that send you over 450 feet in the air, you may change your tune when you learn that you're upside down at that height. Yes, Full Throttle features a 160-foot high vertical loop, which is crazy to imagine, much less experience. You experience that insane loop almost immediately, as Full Throttle launches you from 0 to 70 miles per hour within a second or so. From there, you find yourself zooming upward until you're upside down, 160 feet up. After a few more inversions, the ride suddenly stops. But you're not done yet, as you now get to experience everything again, only in reverse.
No, you don't get to experience everything again. You get to experience the bottom of the last inversion you went through again. Then you fall back forwards to complete the rest of the ride.
So not only will you be upside down 160 feet high, you'll be that way twice.
Nope.
After that, the ride ends for real, less than a minute after it began. Not surprisingly, Full Throttle set the record for tallest vertical loop upon its launch in 2013. In 2016, though, a Chinese coaster called Flash debuted, also featuring a 160-foot loop.
Nope. Flash has a 171-foot tall loop. Also, Dodonpa's loop is slightly taller than Full Throttle's.
But if you're a North American adrenaline junkie, you still can't go wrong with visiting the co-champion in California. The one drawback of a roller coaster, no matter how thrilling it may be, is that the ride's simply over too fast. Some don't even last 30 seconds, which can be a bummer after spending 45 minutes in line. If that's the case, then head on over to Japan, where the Steel Dragon 2000 coaster is ready to spend lots of quality time with your screaming self. The Dragon is the world's longest coaster by far. It features a whopping 8,133 feet of track. By comparison, Kingda Ka is only 3,118 feet long, and Gravity Max measures a mere 1,863 feet. With that much terrain to cover, Steel Dragon is a lengthy ride indeed. From launch to stop, you're in that train for close to 4 minutes.
And a good chunk of those 4 minutes is spent on the lift hill.
Steel Dragon 2000 reaches a height of 318 feet before dropping you 307 feet below. It can reach speeds of up to 95 miles per hour and immerses you in pitch blackness several times over. There's no inversions or crazy loops, but the sheer amount of coaster you get more than makes up for that.
Inversions do not make a ride good. Airtime does.
So if you're ever in Japan and have 5 minutes to kill, there's a dragon who's anxious to meet you.
Are you kidding me? After all these quite good or at least decent rides on this list, you decide to put a borderline family coaster on here. Gatekeeper is tame.
Earlier I mentioned how Full Throttle has the tallest vertical loop in North America, and perhaps the world, while Gatekeeper in Ohio has its own height record to brag about. At 170 feet high, this coaster boasts the tallest inversion of any kind in the world.
Not for long.
Gatekeeper features 6 inversions, the craziest being the wing overdrop. After climbing 170 feet at the start of the ride, the track rotates a full 180 degrees, sending you careening 164 feet upside down. The ride doesn't let up after that.
What do you mean it doesn't let up? After the first keyhole, the ride is completely forceless, even in the back.
Inverting several times over. This includes multiple occasions where it looks like you're about to hit a wall, only for your train to suddenly invert and send you through a narrow space called a keyhole, saving you from certain doom. The train's design is just plain neat, too. No rider actually sits above or below the track. Rather, you're stationed on the train's wings, adding to the danger of rolling that high up.
Gatekeeper is a lot of things, but dangerous is not one of them. This ride is a B&M. It's completely safe.
As well as passing through those narrow keyholes. But like all the other coasters I've mentioned, you're never in any real danger on the Gatekeeper. Most likely, however, you'll be too busy screaming to remember that.
Wow, that list really didn't get any big things wrong, but it got so many small things wrong, it's ridiculous. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, consider supporting my channel and getting some cool merchandise. Link in the description. As usual, submit any GP videos you find to the link in the video description. Finally, be sure to join our Discord to chat with me and get updates on upcoming videos. Thanks for watching!